Hey, my brothers and sisters, I have been having some issues with flags being raised and YouTube bothering me and harassing me about my intro. I've repeated everything that they've wanted and submitted everything that they've wanted repeatedly, is what I meant to say, and still I'm having issues. So everyone seems to enjoy my drawings and my art, so for a while at least, until I get it cleared up, this is what I'm going to put at the beginning of all my videos. Hope you enjoy. One Piece, Chapter 37. Captain Kuro of the Thousand Plans. Well, hello, brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as expected at this point, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the just epic and awesome tale of One Piece. Our last chapter left us with Luffy and Captain Kuro about to, or kind of starting to go toe-to-toe. Kuro just kind of toyed with Luffy a little bit, but we're pretty much left with the next chapter is going to be the showdown type of deal. And Django, of course, came upon Mistress Kaya and Pepper, Onion, and Carrot, Usopp's pirates. However, we have Usopp slung over Zoro's shoulder, directing him through the woods, and hopefully they'll be there in a timely manner to help head off Django. So, without further ado, let's dive into this one, shall we? And honestly, this would probably be about a 30-second review because it was almost all action, except for in the middle there was about a 6 or 8 page breakup that gave us a cool flashback and background into Captain Kuro's history. So when they start out the chapter, Luffy and Captain Kuro start going at it, and Luffy is pulling everything that he has in his arsenal out at him. They exchange some blows. I mean, he does make contact a few times, but nothing really of consequence. Anytime he really tries to pull something big out, the whip or the pistol or whatever, Kuro winds up using that pussyfoot maneuver, and he's just so fast, is what it is. So they're going back and forth, and for a couple of pages, Luffy then goes and rears back, and he's Gomu pistol, and his arm stretches out. And Kuro dodges it, and while it's still outstretched, he goes and jumps and stomps on his arm. So he's now landed on his wrist, and he's pinning him down. Everybody is certainly, all the crew members are still kind of sitting around like, oh look, Captain Kuro, he's such a badass, that type of thing. So Kuro goes and then just like tightrope walks up his arm, up Luffy's arm, because this thing's outstretched 30, 40 feet, and just boom, nails him. And it's not looking too good for Luffy, but as we know, he's pretty resilient, and certainly he's not going to let this guy stand in his way. So we then go and we get a flashback, and we get Captain Kuro of the Thousand Plans talks about his plan and why he ultimately came to the decision to pretty much ditch the life of a pirate, stage his death, and kind of live in not solitude, but basically live under another alias, almost like a witness protection program or something like that, with this whole plan of being this butler and working for Mistress Kaya's family. But it flashes back to 3 years ago, and he's sitting around, and he basically goes and he talks to one of the crewmen, and he says, hey, go get Django for me, So Django comes and he talks to him, and he says, yes, Captain, and he says, I'm done with this ship. I'm done. I'm not going to be Captain Kuro anymore. I'm leaving this ship. And Django says, what the hell are you talking about? You're the captain of this ship. He says, well, yeah, that doesn't matter that I'm the captain. He says, it's just a ship. He said, and honestly, we're always being chased and, and boarded. And it's ridiculous. We're always on the run. So next thing you know, somebody from outside says, there's Marines, and so obviously the Navy is upon them, and he's like, and Kuro's like, oh man, the third time this week. He's like, you see what I'm talking about? So Django says, he goes, listen, that's the life of a pirate. We pillage and plunder, and then we're chased. We rob and steal, we're chased. That's how it works. And Kuro says, not me, not anymore. I don't want this. So then they say, hey, should we shoot? You want us to lay down some fire on there? Are we gonna attack? The Marines? And Kuro says, no, just lower a boat. So they lower a longboat for him. He gets in the boat, and everybody's on the ship like, what the hell is he doing? Because Kuro goes and rows over to them, I guess under the guise of maybe a white flag or whatever. They don't shoot at him is the point. He gets over to there and gets on the ship, and the pirates on his ship, the Black Cat pirates, are getting restless, and they're like, man, we should get together. We should attack. Should we load the cannons? We're going to go board them, As they go and pull up closer, they see Captain Kuro standing on deck with his, with his claw gloves on that he has, with these 5 Freddy Krueger-like claws on each one, and you just see a complete. I mean, it's for a light manga, that doesn't show a lot in the way of the grisly, grim blood and stuff like that. This is a really grisly scene, man. I mean, there's just guys just pretty much ripped apart, bodies everywhere. He killed an entire crew, and I'm assuming that's probably 20 to 30 men, if not more, on one of these Navy ships. And even one of his crew members says, "Man, this is like too much. I can't believe this is the captain that he did this." And then these were trained Marines too. So Kuro goes and finds a Marine that is still somewhat breathing, and he's got some pride, and he says, "Hey, listen, man, you want to kill me, but get it over with." And he says, "Yeah, you talk great through a broken jaw." That's what Kuro says to him, and he says, what happens ultimately is he gets they go and they dress somebody else up in his garb, in the Captain Kuro's garb that looks similar to him, and they tie him to the mast, and to one of the posts on the ship, and then Django hypnotizes this one lone Marine that's left, and he basically gets him to believe that he did this, the massacre of the Marines or whatever, but that he's the one who captured Captain Kuro. So this imposter that he has, and I don't even know if it's still a person that's alive, or I didn't quite get that, or if it's if it was another person that was alive, or if he's already dead, or whatever the case may be. But this is how the legend got around that Captain Kuro was caught and killed 3 years ago, and it winds up protecting his cover. So then they go and they show them on the ship, and back on their ship, and Captain Kuro is like, "All right, listen, I'm no longer Captain Kuro," and this is when he enacts his plan, and then obviously goes and has them. I don't know if he did some research beforehand on where he was going to go, but he winds up upon the island where where Mistress Kaya and her family lives, and where we're at now. So that kind of gives you some insight into his background and just how devious he is. But it also shows you that, listen, he wanted to be a pirate, wanted to be famous at first, but after a while, like anything, it got old. The parallels in real life here would be, similar to like movie stars, musicians. They think everything is going to be great, and then they go and they sign a contract, and all of a sudden they've got millions of people hounding them, and they can't go and take a piss without somebody taking a picture of them. Paparazzi bothering them, their family harassing them in and out of cars. And next thing you know, they wind up going batshit crazy and blowing their brains out, or just doing something just completely schizo, So it's probably a similar thing, he at first sounded like great to be a pirate, fortune and fame and all these sort of things, but, didn't count on, being just hounded and bothered at every turn, constantly having to hide and fight and run. So it comes back to the second or the last third, I guess, of the chapter, and it's more pages of of obviously the fighting between Kuro and Luffy, and Kuro basically comes out of his little reminiscing, his little flashback, and Luffy says, "That's what being a pirate's all about. If you didn't want a reputation, idiot, you shouldn't have been a pirate." I added the idiot part, but that's what he was saying, right? And then Luffy goes and he says, he goes, just wait. Your plan is nothing compared to mine. Basically what my goals are, as far as what his ambitions and things are. So Luffy then goes and surprises the captain as he's coming at him and hitting him again and trying to hit him. Luffy goes over and just picks up a giant boulder about the size of him or whatever, and the captain's like, "Oh, so you can do more than stretch, huh, rubber boy?" And Luffy goes and says, "Yeah, I've been practicing being a pirate and this and that, and building his strength up, I guess, or whatever the case may be." And he goes and takes this thing and just swings it right at Kuro as his claws are coming at him, and he winds up breaking off the claws on one of his hands, just shatters him off. And as we all know, that's pretty much one of Kuro's main things that he's using to attack, and it's one of his big advantages, right? Having that reach and that distance and those claws on his hands. So his crew, his whole collective crew, are like, whoa, they just broke the captain's claws. So the chapter does end right there and leaves us hanging. This is going to carry into probably a couple more chapters because we didn't even see Kaya and Django and what that whole situation was. So hopefully we're going to get some of that here in the next chapter. And just let me know, brothers and sisters, what you think in the comments down below. Throw me a like if you think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll catch you in the next one, Nation. As always, thanks for watching, Nation. Check out some of my other videos, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already.